Now we have a design, and we need to realize that design. So from our design, we said the first step is we want to ask the user what type of person they are, a customer, a guest, or employee. So given that information, we are going to adjust the main application we started with. Now, just from the standpoint of history, so you don't lose where I came from, I'm going to move all this way down here and just say private void safe. This has nothing to do with exactly, except for I don't want to lose this code in case you're looking at the history of what happened to my zip files or whatnot. But the point of that is I want to start with a new main method. And so in a command line prompt, I need to start with the prompt. I need to let you know what's going on here. So system.out.println. What type of customer are you? In a super robust system, I might have 50 or 100 different types of customers you are. So in that case, I would maybe want to allow you to type in whatever. Just go get some text and go make that happen. In our case, we're dealing with only 3 types and pretty simple rules and a user who may or may not know what you're intending to do there. So I'm going to give this user a break and say system.out.println. Enter 1 for guest, 2 for customer. No, let's just say we already said customer. We said existing, or 3 for employee. Right there. So I'm going to prompt you for that. So at this point, I need to go get that user input. And that user input mechanism that we talked about before is the scanner object. Control space. Now you can see scanner comes from java.util. That's a package that has a lot of useful things for us, including getting stuff from the I/O. And we'll just call it in, the object in. It's equal to new scanner. Now, the scanner object needs to know where it's going to be reading information from. You can see I can read it from a file. I can read it from what's called an input stream, or a string which represents a file, or some other source that's coming in there. The common input for Java is from the system class. And system.in is defined for us by Java, saying whatever application you're running as, this is what your input stream's coming in. If some of your users typing in strings and sending them to you, this is where it's coming in. Notice it's set by the language. I'm not connecting to the keyboard because it's not assumed that every Java application has a keyboard to it. They could be an embedded application. The input stream could be coming from Earth and its stream of data through microwaves to a satellite. So we don't know what that in is coming from. It's going to be how the system's configured for us. And that's fine. We don't need it at this point. What we're actually going to find out is we're not actually going to be command line. We're going to be running inside of a window inside of NetBeans. So it's going to be sort of command line-ish, but it's not going to be actual application on its own. So that's what the whole point of this is. So from that, I need to go get a string, which is in dot. What options do I have here? Well, there's a lot of different things here. Then we'll oh, wow, look at all this stuff. Oops. Hold on 1 second. I might be... Oh, I'm sorry. String input is equal to in dot. That's better. I forgot to put my... by the way, so what did I just do right there? I messed up. I forgot what I was doing. I started saying in dot. And I was looking through Code Complete. And Code Complete doesn't know what to do here. Because at this point, I don't have valid compiling code. I'm supposed to be naming a variable inside of here, and so it's giving me all these options. And I was thinking ahead too much. So I need to do input is equal to in dot. Now Code Complete means something. And I want the value next. I'm going to go ask for next. Or my preference is just to say next line. And that gets everything up to the next enter there. So I want you to be aware that next is out there, but next sometimes will only go get you the next space, up to the next space, up to the next white space. So my preference is clear out the whole line. Everything that the user just typed in, go and grab that for you. And we'll see some ramifications of not using next line as we play a little bit as we go forward. I want to make it work well one time, and then we can go break it from there. All right, then we can go system.out.println input. Let's go just ask them what they want to do and then just go print that back out. Just real simple. We're going to start easy in our code. We're going to write 5 lines of code because we get them to compile, we get them working, and we'll see what they do. So run, and what type of customer are you? Enter 1 for guest, 2 for existing, 3 for employee. I'll pick 2 and hit enter, and it spits back out 2. I can run this again. Notice I can type in absolutely anything inside of here. Just a bunch of random stuff. I can keep typing. It doesn't do anything until I hit enter, and then it types out exactly what I just typed in. That's a start. We got some input. Based off of that input, then I needed to go off and go do something based off of what we were asked for. This is where you start to get in some bigger type design stuff. This is where I can go and use either if statements or something else to that effect. So I could do if input dot equals, that's the better option here. Let's say 1. Oops, 1. System.out.println, you are a guest. I'm just gonna leave that for now. So print, oh, forgot my L. There. LT, print line, there you go. Got those backwards. Alright, so I go run this. If I type in the letter 1, it says you are a guest. So spits back the 1 because I didn't take that line out. Yes. So it spits that back out, and it says you are a guest. All right, let me point out here, if I type in nothing, and just, oops, sorry, I gotta go down to my command line, and just hit enter, it does not say you are a guest. If I go through and I type in a bunch of junks, it does not say you are a guest, because it has to equal 1 exactly. That also means that if I put in 1 space, it does not say you are a guest. It has to be 1 exactly here. So there's a little bit of ramifications of this. We're going to get into some of that a little bit more, but I did want to set up the structure of this, the way we're going to do this, and show you an option. So I can do else if input dot equals 2 and say you are a existing. Alright, so now I run this. If I put in 1, it says you are a guest. Run it again, put in 2, it says you are existing, right? If I put in none of the above, it puts in nothing inside of there. Okay, this is one way I can structure my code. I want to point out I can also structure my code very differently using a switch statement. A switch statement allows me to operate on any single variable, including a string. So I can go through and switch it to be case 1, case 2. The break isn't required here, but I like to put the break here just in case, and I like to spread these out this way. So again, I can say 1, you are a guest. I can say 2, you are existing. The great thing I can do here is say default please choose again. And then I can keep adding cases in very easily through anything else that I haven't added in there. So anything that's not a 1 or 2, or eventually when we add 3, I can just say please add again. So either of those are valid choices. I just want to try to show you different language options that you can employ inside of here. And this is the one case where a switch statement is super powerful because I have multiple paths I want to take based off of that. If you remember, our design was we're going to ask that question and then we're going to do something with it. We're now set it up where I can ask the question, what type are you? And then I'll be able to do something with it. And that's what we're going to do in the next video. So my encouragement to you right now is to play with this for a minute and get this part working. Might not even take you this long if you're experienced, but if you're new, it might take you 10 or 15, 20 minutes, hopefully not more than a half an hour, to come up and figure out this little piece. Just be able to get the input from the user. Just print it out to start with. You do the exact flow that we started with here. Print it out, see it, and then do a little logic on it. If you want to do if statements, great. If you want to switch to switch statements, fine. I don't care which one you use. I'm just showing you both. We're going to continue to iterate and play on this as we go, but do this piece before you go any further and potentially start breaking stuff.